So I've suffered a little case of death and not feeling really great at the moment. Probably not going to need that much of that, and a bit of that. So what I'm going to do is try and cure said problem by basically kitting up and making things happen, I suppose. Do I really want those? Yes, I probably do. And we're stopping right now. What's happened, of course? I lost all my gear, so I need to replenish it, which of course means it's slightly distracted from the current thing. So just taking a quick nap. Excuse me. And yeah, just snooze. Let's see if I can actually get some stuff happening. So running. Because I still have health problems and I can't remember quite where I was going. So what am I going to talk about this time? Something at least. Too many trees. Got to amuse myself somehow. Now, somewhere around here was this giant cliff I'd fallen into. Was that it? It could be. It's not deep enough. No, I thought I scooted across the water somehow and... Oh, I hope I can find it again. Otherwise this is going to be a fairly pointless activity. This looks familiar. Oh, hell yeah. That would be it. Right there. Well, at least it didn't hurt as much as last time. And I forgot to get torches. That was stupid. Oh, there's torches of stuff I've been doing. And that's the bit I actually wanted, which was... Oh, I'm going to go this way. And back up here. And hopefully this skeleton will not kill me as I run away. Or as they say in Monty Python, run away! Great movie, that one. So, oops. Yes, I need to go this way, so I'll need to diggy. No, yes, with a sword. That are lovely. Don't trigger the peoples, because they don't like being triggered. So, since this has got torches, I know it can lead back home. I've just got to work out where. And hopefully not too far away. Mind you, I'm probably going to be completely lost now because, life. And distractions, of course. But yeah, I was going to talk about algorithms and the stuff that you have to use every day and don't realize it's happening in the IT world. So an algorithm is basically a recipe, and you'll have to excuse the sound of the dishwasher in the background because it's a dishwasher and it's doing what it does. Yeah, and I have no control over the sound that it produces because I don't have magic. Although I do have post-production techniques, but that sounds too much like effort. So, we'll see. Given that I know I'm actually just going to post this straight to my YouTube. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So anyhow, getting back to what I was talking about, algorithms. Algorithms are great because they allow you to do things. And the best way to think of an algorithm is kind of like a recipe. It is... That's a long way up. Did I go that way? Maybe I did. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I should have. Yeah, an algorithm is basically a recipe. So it tells the computer how to do a particular thing. Ouch. I should stop doing that. That's not healthy. And I don't want to fall down there either. Oh, this seems familiar now. Which way? So the algorithm is basically a recipe. How did the sheep get down here? What the sheep? Well, you don't belong here. Oops. And neither does he. Ow. Yeah, I don't have any armor anymore. That hurts. So an algorithm is basically a recipe. It gives the computer a set of instructions, so much like baking a cake. It pulls together all the ingredients and then throws it into a recipe. And that recipe is basically how it does something. Okay, pop your head out. You're dead now. Whoa, run away, spider. Too bad I can't collect those arrows. Yeah, so it's a recipe. It describes how to assemble whatever it is the computer needs to do. And this can be as simple as sorting a list of numbers or an alphabetical sequence, say, from highest to lowest. Hey, that there. Way station, hello. Which means I can get some of these and drop. Oh, actually, that works. I'll drop those in there. No, still don't have that function. And no, I can't just click and drop them in, which is annoying. And I've got some almost defunct items. Great. Well, let's just load this up. So yeah, as I was saying, it's basically an algorithm is designed to do a certain thing and do it well, reasonably anyway. And depending on how you want to do it and all that sort of stuff. So it's a solution to a problem. I'm going to get the broken things and put those in. At least I have an apple to stop myself starving to death for at least for a little while. A bucket is always good for wandering around down here, and an axe is completely useless at this point, but hey, I don't care. So, yeah. So if you bake a cake, you throw together a bunch of ingredients and you end up with a cake. Usually it is listening, water, no water. So something in that direction. Okay. That doesn't look ominous at all. And zombies. Wonderful. We get and zombies and louder music. That's getting too loud for my ears. Come on, zombie, bounce here. Boom, 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 boom. So, yeah. Things get interesting with algorithms because they're designed to do a particular thing. But the funny thing is that when they don't function as you would expect, that's when problems occur. And I might just turn down this a bit so I don't go as deaf. That should do it. Yeah. So, yeah, interesting things is basically when you try and break the algorithm, or at least cause it some problems. Well, that purple eyes, that's not good. And there's a skeleton down there. Wonderful. So, if I wander back this way, I don't have any arrows. That sucks. I really wish I could pull it out of the wall. Yeah, so when you break an algorithm and get it to behave in weird and bizarre kind of ways. And people have been playing with this sort of stuff ever since the start of computers. You get sort of odd little graphical effects and whatever else. And so things such as when the algorithm fails in a game like Doom, you get this no clipping effect where you can walk through walls. And hopefully not much these days, you get the possibility of encountering this sort of error or graphical glitch. And basically that's what glitches are. Visual glitches in any sort of game that you play is basically the algorithm behaving in a way that it shouldn't be behaving, but it just goes off the deep end anyway. And yeah, shiny things. This is a big rift. I'm gonna have to work my way through this. And iron. Whoa. So we'll just put these here and go through the Temple of Doom. No, the Indiana Jones Raiders of the Lost Ark kind of entrance, and I heard a spider. Wonderful. Gold! Shiny things! Yay! Alright, getting to pick it on. Yeah, so basically, when you look at an ouch, that hurt. Okay, so that wasn't a spider. It was something a little more explosive. I'm really surprised I'm not dead. 2 for 2 in 2 sessions. This would be problematical at the best of times. Anyhow, so, the armor saved me. Well, I'm glad I was wearing it then. Yeah, so an algorithm like that is designed to do something, and the creeper derailed my train of thought with its explosion. So people have been doing this on the internet for forever, basically. Some good examples of breaking algorithms, or at least getting to behave in ways that they probably shouldn't, has to do with, I think it was the 2004 US presidential election. where basically a bunch of enterprising young computer geeks decided that the best way to have fun with it would be to get the presidential candidate, John McCain, who was going against George W. Bush, and basically use Google to link his name to the keyword waffles, so that when you typed in the word, this candidate's name, what would happen is you'd end up with it was the other way around actually. You end up basically typing the keyword waffles, and all of a sudden you'd end up at his US presidential campaign website. And so, people did this. It became known as what they call a Google bomb, where basically you'd bump up your Google search rating and try and get this particular word linkage to a website to occur as you go round. I'm going to have to get rid of these. This is the other use of buckets, collecting lava. Wah! So I only have one bucket at the moment. So we'll just collect that bucket of lava and torch up this place. Oh, there's also an up. That's going to be interesting. And I've dealt with the down, so I'll have to go up shortly. So yeah, by using this thing they call a Google bomb, or basically creating a whole bunch of links from one keyword to a website, would basically be a way of subverting the algorithm to get what you want out of it. I can hear spiders. That's trying to stressing me out here. Please don't burst into flame. Yeah, and so the way that was done, that makes me happier, strangely. The way that was done was basically on a website, and this has to be replicated hundreds and hundreds of times. They would create a whole bunch of links that have a certain keyword that go to a particular website. And that became the basis of the Google bomb. So enterprising young computer nerds would then do this, but replicated times a couple of thousand. And this is why I got killed in the first place. I was looking for food. All right. So, going back to my Google bombing extravaganza, they then, having created this link once, automated this entire process across a couple of hundred websites, actually more like about 64,000, to then get the response they wanted. Oh, that's gold. Whoops, I better pull that out first and then have that ready and load up the excess back here because I don't need it yet. I'm probably going to need the iron top side, and I'll bring my bucket because it's always great to have a bucket with you. So this idea of Google bombing became sort of the norm, and this is when Google was the dominant, or is the dominant search engine, because it still kind of is. Everybody talks about Googling, they don't talk about search engines or searching. So, excuse me, as a result, this intent of basically creating Google bombs was to basically usurp Google's algorithm and get it doing what you wanted, which is pretty much one of the fundamentals of computing, is taking an existing piece of code and getting it to do precisely what you want in the way that you want and how you want. I want more experience. I want my... Oh, well, I'll just have to wait. So simple sort of concept, but, these days you can't do this sort of stuff because Google has refined and refined and refined their algorithm to basically remove the possibility of you doing something so clever, or at least making it super difficult to do something like that. So, it doesn't happen anymore. There was also another category of stuffing around with Google, which was identifying what they call Google Wacks. And a Google Wack is basically where you throw together two keywords to produce a single... And it's dark again. Why is it dark? I don't want it to be dark. This is so... I suppose I could actually sleep. That's a novel concept. Start accruing my goodies. So a Google Whack is basically throw together two keywords and you get a response. A single web page response. These days, if you try to do that sort of thing, you have to use really obscure medical terms combined with other really obscure words that are generally unrelated to find a single web page that does this kind of stuff. And henceforth, that's why it's so rare. And that can go either way. So, and there's a book by a guy called Dave Gorman, I think he's a British comedian, but he was meant to be writing this other book, and then he discovered that he was a Google Whack, that he had a website that combined two words. In this case, it was unicycle periscope. And if you wander around the internet, you'll be able to find all this stuff because, hey, it exists. And so as a result of doing this sort of discovering this new thing, and in not really wanting to write his new book, he then went on what he'd call his Google Whack adventure. And that was basically what his book then became. Well, this could be useful, except not. Ooh, cavern complex. Woohoo! Fun. For the whole family of creepers. That's a dead end. So instead of writing the book he got paid for, he ended up writing this other book that he also got paid for because, well, he's got paid to write a book. It didn't matter what it was. And being a comedian, he was able to get away with it. So, yeah, there's a couple of really interesting little terms in this regard of how to dealing with search engine algorithms and how things can get quite interesting when you work out ways of affecting them. What's happened these days, of course, is that you've got such a large collection of web designers and search engine people, or people who do search engine optimization, which is basically getting the best you can out of your search engine. And basically they're working against Google to try, because Google wants to produce the best search results it can while doing all this other googly stuff. Whoa, deep darkness, don't get trapped under the ice, that'd be bad. Back to the surface. So as a result, that group is basically in competition with Google. So Google wants to produce the best algorithm that can, and these guys want to basically break Google's algorithm to get what they want out of it, to usurp it for their own benefit. So it's built this fairly interesting competition between search engine optimizers and Google people. And if you're wondering why I'm picking flowers, I like dyeing things because boredom, colourful, love the colour. Because Minecraft can get so dull in terms of its colours. And I might as well start collecting this stuff now, including some stuff for seed. And I might as well do it with stone because stone doesn't wear out. So yeah, anyhow, that's basically that one. And I've just about gotten back. So I will grab my little stash of seeds and drop them into the ground. And hopefully start growing more wheat. Not too sure what I'm going to do with this tree. I'll drop it back here. So yeah, that sort of whole search engine-y thing, and I still haven't got any food. This is going to become a problem, I suspect. Yeah, that whole search engine thing, a little hairy on the trigger there, has produced interesting results with how Google works, how other companies work, and that sort of stuff. I mean, the whole history of search engines and how they go off and go crazy is possibly worth talking about in the future, but that is enough for now. I seem to have recovered my bow, so I am happy, even though I don't have any arrows. See ya.